Hello and welcome to the National Debate. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, we've witnessed unprecedented drama over the last several weeks surrounding the T20 World Cup, which is slated to kick-start in about a week from now. First, the entire Mustafizur Rahman controversy, which triggered a chain of events, culminating in Bangladesh's dramatic exit from the T20 World Cup. And then, Pakistan entering the picture as it offered support to Bangladesh, fueling uncertainty over its own participation. Meanwhile, Pakistan has already prepared its travel plans. Reports say that tickets are already booked and Pakistan team is scheduled to fly to Colombo on the 2nd of February. So has Pakistan finally bowed down to the ICC? In this edition of the National Debate, we will unpack the entire controversy. We will reveal how the boycott will hurt Pakistan Cricket Board, both in terms of financial losses and possible ICC sanctions. The spotlight will also be on the dose of humor added by cricket boards of Iceland and Uganda and the whole drama surrounding it. First up, we'll get you a timeline of events leading up to Bangladesh's dramatic exit from the World Cup. But let me introduce our panelists joining us at the moment. With us is Atul Vasan, former cricketer. With us also is Rajinder Amarnath, former cricketer. We have Rakesh Rao, senior sports journalist, joining us. Behram Qazi is head of podcasts at Combox TV and cricket correspondent at Pro Sports Pakistan. We also have Faraz Saeed, who's a Pakistan journalist. We have Atikur Rahman, who's a Pakistan political analyst, and Mir Mustafizur Rahman is a journalist from Bangladesh who's joining us at the moment. Let's quickly take you through the first set of what we're talking about in terms of what really has transpired. It was on the 16th of December 2025 that KKR signed Mustafizur Rahman at IPL auction. On the 2nd of January, political row in India over KKR buying Mustafizur that emerged. Atrocities in Hindus in Bangladesh were then cited as a reason for protest. KKR released Mustafizur on BCCI directive on the 3rd of January. On the 4th of January, Bangladesh Cricket Board sought relocation of T20 World Cup matches then. And after that, on the 7th of January, the Bangladesh Cricket Board president cited Pakistan precedent to justify the claim. ICC on the 7th of January rejected Bangladesh's venue change request. And later we saw on the 19th of January, ICC told Pakistan, play in India or face a replacement. On the 20th of January, Bangladesh said that they won't accept unreasonable conditions, quote unquote. On the 21st of January, ICC board voted against the BCB request. And later, of course, we saw how PCB backed Bangladesh's position. Now, on the 22nd of January, the Bangladesh Cricket Board chief reiterated the refusal to tour India, following which on the 24th of January, ICC announced that Scotland will replace Bangladesh. Following this, PCB distanced itself from Bangladesh, announcing its World Cup squad. And of course, we have also seen how they've gone ahead to say that they will take a decision as far as this entire matter is concerned. But why is this important? Because you have to look at the track record also when it comes to Pakistan and what ICC has said. The Naqvi Sharif meeting that was held amidst the T20 World Cup row, those are the pictures of it. And ICC rules have very clearly said that boards must act autonomously, whereby this was very clearly a violation of that. The PCB boss Naqvi there meeting the Pakistan Prime Minister on the same issue. No government and public body interference is what ICC rules state, but that's in clear violation of that. Naqvi has also come out to say that there will be a final decision by Monday. ICC rules say that no interference in operational decisions that has to come in. Naqvi has also stated that the final decision will be by the Pakistan government. ICC rules say that no interference in administrative calls have to be taken by the government or others. Now, this is, of course, as far as what has transpired in Pakistan is concerned. And let me take this across first and foremost to Behram Qazi. Behram Qazi, very clearly, just going by the rules of ICC, Pakistan is already in violation of them. Can they even afford to take a measure such as boycotting the World Cup? Because that will invite a huge set of backlash. Forget the financial aspects of it. A huge set of backlash possibly from the ICC, including, whether it is the PSL or other tournaments that are conducted by the Cricket Board of Pakistan. There can very clearly be huge consequences for Pakistan if it does not participate in this.
So, yes, absolutely. I don't think Pakistan can afford to boycott the T20 World Cup in its entirety because they are being accommodated by, having them play their games in Sri Lanka. And of course, if they just simply choose to boycott the India game, then they could be met with financial fines, quite hefty ones at that. And the way I have read the situation, or my understanding of it all, is that this is simply Pakistan just posturing and stoking the fire and stirring an already stirred pot because they see this moment as an opportunistic one where, they can kind of just add to the drama and make life harder for India, who's already under pressure, I suppose, or not pressure, but under the limelight or under fire. And I also feel that, the tragedy of this all is that cricket, more often than not in the recent past, has been used as a tool for political point scoring. And that's not just Pakistan. That's pretty much every board in the subcontinent. But my counter to that would be that, we've seen a few things happen in the recent past. You saw in the Asia Cup how the handshake gate brought about a lot of toxicity. And anyone who loves cricket would not want to remember that tournament, right? We all want to block it out of our memory. And my counter is basically that you cannot expect to open a political can of worms every now and then and not expect an equally politically charged response to it. Like over here in this instance, Mustafizur Rahman has been let go from the IPL based on his nationality, which in my book is discrimination. And whatever response comes from Bangladesh is then an equally political one. And, for instance, if I, let's suppose, hire someone to work for my firm from country X, and then there is a politician that creates a ruckus and threatens that person that you cannot enter country or my country because country X is my enemy, then that person is let go by me. His family, who is supposed to tour my country, says we don't feel safe, we feel unwanted, we are rejecting the visit. Then, I also understand that.
Okay.
So,
Behram Ghazi, while I'm very glad that, you've said that it's a lot of hot air and you've admitted on television, and it's a very bold and a frank statement. I appreciate your boldness of admitting that what the Pakistan Cricket Board and the government are trying to do is just nothing but a stunt to try and draw attention. But let me also draw your attention. As you rightly said, of course, the entire handshake saga was there. But what about the saga of Mr. Mohsin Naqvi locking away the Asia Cup there in Dubai? He's, of course, there is a conflict. There's a conflict of interest there in the first place because he's also the Interior Minister of Pakistan and at the same time the PCB chief, whereas there's supposed to be no governmental interference, as we just read out. But at the same time, the fact that he is trying to deny India the Asia Cup, which is rightly won, is also something that has to be talked about.
Well, Mohsin Naqvi is not just the chairman of the PCB, right? He's also the Interior Minister of Pakistan. So he's essentially the Amit Shah of Pakistan, and the son of the actual Amit Shah is the ICC president. So this is a complex situation, and there's a lot of nuance to this. And like I said, unfortunately, to everyone in this panel who appreciates cricket for the sport that it is, and I have always believed that cricket should, or all sports should transcend borders and boundaries, and it should bring people together. But over here, the opposite is being done because routinely cricket has been used by, politicians as a tool for their political point scoring.
Let Atul Wasim come in on that.
In India, that's what's happening in Pakistan, and that's what's happened in Bangladesh as well.
Let Atul Wasim respond to that. Atul Wasim, is there a comparison to be drawn here? The actual Interior Minister of Pakistan being the PCB chief vis-a-vis the son of the Home Minister of India being the ICC chief. The two individuals are totally separate. The situation, to my mind, is totally separate. Why are we drawing an equivalence there?
So you have answered the question anyway, because what happens now because of the snub from India. And, Pakistan is just trying to find every given opportunity to retort back with any given way, because cricket has been weaponized, because, they are showing to their masses that this is also, we can create problem for India. But this is a zero-sum game for them. I think don't start what you can't finish. And they're threatening to pull out. They cannot. They know the financial implications. As it is, your team is not doing well. And then you are trying to play, this kind of tactics because you're trying to give it back to India. But you are looking, like silly, because you cannot even, come to that kind of skewness where India can manage without you. You don't have the mandate in ICC. So Mr. Naqvi is trying to just show, because before it was Kashmir, the opium for the masses in Pakistan. Now everybody's got bored of that. Now cricket is used by the Pakistan because military, the government and the board is all connected, and that is one unit. And I think they can just say that, okay, we can pull out. But I said 2 days ago, when you have a loose stomach, don't try to laugh too hard. You have to come. And I think this was the idea suggested by them when India never went to Pakistan for Champions Trophy. Then this was the idea that you can play in Sri Lanka. Now, if Pakistan is backing Bangladesh and you don't have the mandate in the ICC, because 14-2 was the vote in ICC, so you know that everybody is on this side. So on what kind of locus standi you are just making these threats? So basically you should just think that if you have to retort back, you have to start winning first, and then you have to find other ways. Don't go down this road.
Absolutely. And I think, I must clarify that, by the way, Jai Shah has been, with the Gujarat Cricket Board from 2009. But neither the BJP was in power, neither was Amit Shah, the Home Minister at that time. So let's not go down that road and try to draw all these false equivalences. But let me bring in some of the other panelists as well. I want Atikur Rahman to come in. Atikur Rahman, it was Kashmir that was opium for masses in Pakistan. Now it is cricket that is being fed as an opium for the masses because of the huge amount. And we do know the kind of financial situation that the country is in, the economic situation that the country is in. So does Atul Vasan have a fair point then?
I think the cricket in case of South Asia, that is slightly different from the rest of the world, because already the two countries, they have recently witnessed a confrontation the last year. So that's why, playing cricket at the venue, which is not very much secure and could not provide adequate protection to the players, that is a logical decision. So definitely we will take some time and we will decide when ICC and the other South Asian regional, players, they will provide the adequate security guarantee. Definitely will.
But Pakistan's already playing in Sri Lanka. What's the issue?
So you should not be. You should not. So all the countries are not very much same in South Asia. So if Sri Lanka is safe, that doesn't mean that India is also safe and the other countries.
Sir, Pakistan is the last country you should be talking about safety of players. How many attacks have happened on players in Pakistan? Terrorist attacks? We've lost count.
Come on. Case of, in the case of terrorism, you cannot spare India.
No, answer the facts. You tell me the facts. How many terrorist attacks have happened on international players in Pakistan? Can you know how many have happened?
So please.
Tell us. I'm asking you the facts. Tell us.
On the other hand, you can see the political statements of your government. Just let me
I'm asking you a question, sir. This is a debate. Answer questions and ask. Don't try and deflect with whataboutery. I'm asking you a specific question. You're talking about safety of India. And how many attacks have ever happened in India on cricketers? None. How many have happened in Pakistan? There are far too many people have probably lost count.
Terrorism is a common South Asian problem, and we are already fighting a war on terror. The United States and there are a number of other international organizations, independent countries, and the leaders which have appreciated Pakistan's efforts. So that is the unquestionable fact.
Yes.
It's
a country that's been called a global migraine by none other migraine order. Let me bring in Rajinder Amarnath. Rajinder Amarnath, is there any comparison to be drawn here? India is not safe apparently, says Pakistan. The Pakistani panel is joining us. That's really rich coming from somebody who's coming from a country where players have been attacked repeatedly.
Well, one can only laugh at a statement made just now, because everybody knows that Pakistan is in a thick soup. There have been, every day there has been some bomb blast around the Pakistani provinces, whether it's going to be in Balochistan or in Karachi, even it's been happening around Lahore now. So we have seen what had happened to the Sri Lankan team when they toured Pakistan. And that's the reason no country felt safe sending their players over to Pakistan.
A slight difference is that when India does not want to play in Pakistan, all the players are unanimous in that count. As far as Bangladesh is concerned, there are several players who have raised concern with their own cricket board stands. And let me bring in Rakesh Rao on that note. Rakesh Rao, what is the equivalence that we are drawing here? Bangladesh's own players, their own board, there's a lot of questions about whether they have succumbed to pressure from their own government to try and prove a point, a political point at that.
To illustrate this, I'll just give you just one example. If the Bangladesh government feels that their cricket team cannot travel because of security concerns, and, within days of that, they have allowed 2 of their shooters to come to India.
Very important point.
So are you trying to say that your shooters are less equal? Or are you trying to say that their lives don't matter? What are you trying to say? If India is such a security risk, why are you sending your shooters here? But you have no problems with the shooters traveling to India. But you have a big issue that, oh, there is a security concern. If you can do it, if you can accommodate Pakistan, why are you not accommodating us? Now, the point is that see, we all know the real reason. It is just because they want to make a statement. It's optics, but they can't go beyond that. If Bangladesh says that, look, we can't do it, and they have taken that decision. They've taken it. They said, okay. They didn't utter a word after that. There have been some, some reactions are bound to be there, but it is Pakistan which is saying that, look, now we will take a call on that. It really puzzles me why Pakistan is taking that decision, because for years they said that we will not come to India if India is not going to, if the Indian cricket team doesn't travel to Pakistan. We maintained our stand saying that, look, it is not the government's, it is not the BCCI, it is the government's stake. Fine. Government says, no, we don't think that it is safe, so our team is not traveling. Pakistan says, so we will also reciprocate, we will not travel. But every single time till 2023, they travel to India. It is only the Champions Trophy that when Indians maintained their stand and said, no, we are not traveling, then of course, there was this thing that they said, okay, we also don't want to play in India. So their thing was accepted. Now, once that is accepted, why are you trying to create a situation where it is very clear that ICC hasn't hurt you any further? You are trying to embarrass India by, just saying that, okay, we will consider whether we should travel to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka hasn't harmed you at all. You are okay with the security concerns there, but you still are holding back. You're holding that decision whether to travel or not. You have booked your tickets. Then you go further. You said, if we travel, we can do two things. A, we are going to wear black bands and we are going to play. Number two, we will consider whether to take the field against India. If you are planning all these things, just go and execute it. Don't plan. Don't tell the world that you're going to do this. What sort of, you are not even if you can't plan, you can't execute. Why are you revealing your plans, damn it? If you want to do it, if you are threatening boycott, go ahead and boycott. If you don't want to travel to India, they should have stuck to their plans years ago. If India was not traveling to Pakistan, they should have said, our government also says that we will not travel. They should have stuck to it. But till 2023, every time there was an opportunity to come to India, they did not miss it.
Exactly.
They came to India, they played every
You see, there's so much of money involved. They don't want to, they can't afford to lose that money.
Which has arisen in the last.
Yeah. Let me quickly, before I get into the financials, I want to get a quick response from a guest from Bangladesh, Mir Mustafizur Rahman. There's a very clear hypocrisy over here. And the hypocrisy is very clear because you're sending your shooters to India. There is no problem, as the previous speaker, Mr. Rao, said, in sending shooters to India. Suddenly, there is a threat when it comes to cricketers. That's a very clear sign of hypocrisy, is it not?
Not at all. You think the issue is there. Shooting is not that much focused or highlighted. And you know very well, but I think all of these 7 panelists, you are here.
Sir, they are your citizens who come as cricketers and they are citizens who come as shooters. So the threat is to Bangladesh citizens. Certainly that will be there for all.
There are a lot of people traveling to India on a regular basis from Bangladesh to India. So that doesn't mean the cricket popularity and shooting, you cannot compare these two things. Because when a shooting is happened in shooting competition in anywhere, you will not get 100 or 200 viewers or audience. But cricket is a huge thing. It's a very funny and simply, but I should say, illogical to compare cricket with shooting. Well, this is a very funny comparison.
But can you please tell me why is it then that your cricketers like Mohammad Mithun, etc., who are coming out openly against your BCB chief, saying that this decision to pull out is completely wrong? Forget India and what India is saying. Your own players are saying it.
So in India, I have seen several cricketers and several intellectuals. They vehemently argued that this was a very unfortunate decision from the ICC side, and because every issues now we are talking triggered by the communal stance of a group of Indians. And very unfortunate to say, because you know very well.
That is a call that your government is taking, and that is fine. But the point is that your own players are finding a problem with that.
The thing is that our dignity and respect must be ensured. That is the main issue. It's cricket or anything else.
How will your dignity? How will your dignity in any way suffer if you are provided security here in India?
When one of our star cricketers are not allowed to play at the whim of a communal group. So this is very unfortunate. And this is the first thing you know very well, which triggered all of these issues and controversies.
And what about the communal violence against all the minorities there in Bangladesh?
No, there are communal violence in India, in every state of India also.
Not in every state of India, sorry. There is no comparison to the manner in which it was happening.
Of course, there is comparison. When you are talking about minorities, what is about your own minority? Put your own house in order first.
Sir, since minority 1947, what is the percentage of minorities in Bangladesh and how much is it now?
What is the percentage of minorities in India, sir?
It has grown. Yes, I'm very glad you asked that question. It has actually increased. Yep. That is. Let me give you the facts. No, you don't have the data, sir. You are arguing without facts. The minorities in Bangladesh have drastically come down, just as in Pakistan. Whereas in India, the percentage of minorities has gone up. So I think the proof is ultimately in the percentage of minorities that exists in both the countries. There is no comparison. So let's don't even try to go down that way, Mr. Mustafizur, because your facts are completely against your argument there. Completely against. The migration out of Bangladesh and Pakistan for the last 7 decades is very well known. It's very well documented, and it is I'm not going to allow you to spread misinformation. You cannot spread on my channel and my show. I will not allow you to get away with putting out wrong facts. All that is very well known. So please don't go down these kind of political arguments that there is some kind of comment. The point is that whatever the ICC's norms are will be followed. Let me bring in fact Atul Vasan on this. Atul Vasan, what are we even talking about? They're saying that it's the dignity of our players, so on and so forth. The point is you're playing the T20 World Cup. You're going to sacrifice your country's chances because of one player.
See, I think now the narrative and the situation is that Pakistan doesn't care because they will cut their nose to spite their face, and Bangladesh is going again in this hard-line, puritanical kind of a narrative, which they should not be getting, because before Mustafizur was taken away from KKR, they were okay to come. There was no problem. I think there are 10,000 Bangladeshis living next to my house. They are more secure here than in Bangladesh. So what are you talking about? So if you have to take a stand, just say it out loud that, okay, we are not coming because this is what you've done. Don't say that security problem. Then you look like a fool. And you don't expect ICC to be blackmailed or cornered and to just change the venues and upset the whole system 1 month of World Cup, and inconveniencing in the teams, So now I was just hoping for that Pakistan pulls out, which they are not going to do that. And the whole world is, scared because everybody, Pakistan owes money to. So they think if they don't want Pakistan to face any loss also. But if Pakistan pulls out, Bangladesh comes back in. I'll be amazing. I think we're just waiting if that happens.
All right. Is that what's going to happen? We don't know. But let's look at why this is so important and what's really at stake when it comes to the finances of it. ICC, of course, if Pakistan does boycott, and highly unlikely as some of our panelists themselves are saying from Pakistan, but if it does boycott, what are the possible likelihood in terms of the outcomes of it? There's a contract breach with ICC that will then happen. ICC may withhold the revenue share that is due then to Pakistan. It's $34.5 million of about 316 crore rupees which are at risk. The suspension from global cricket is another possibility. There's also a possibility of Asia Cup exclusion, no hosting rights. If ICC does bring in those sanctions, PSL then would be in danger in terms of ICC and major boards blocking the NOC as far as PSL is concerned. Countries could deny player releases. That's also a possibility if this does take place. Is there also, of course, a possibility in terms of isolation, bilateral damage, fewer bilateral series subsequently that could possibly happen, no high-profile home tours if that is indeed the case, and loss of PCB's independent revenue streams in such an eventuality. But what are we talking about why is Pakistan wary of the boycott? The focus now on PCB's own financial woes. Pakistan has suffered 869 crore loss in the Champions Trophy. This is as far as news reports are concerned. Audits have found $21 million of financial irregularities in the PCB. This is, of course, as per news reports in July of 2025. Let's quickly, in fact, take this across to our guests who are with us from Pakistan as well. And let me take this first and foremost to Behram. Behram, this is not something that Pakistan can really afford. We're talking about 300 crore rupees, which is a huge amount of money, particularly given the PCB and Pakistan's own financial woes.
The reason why I said that Pakistan is, or the PCB is simply posturing is because they could face sanctions and a lot of hefty financial, fines. But we have digressed over here. Atul Bhai mentioned that sport has been weaponized. I mentioned that you open a political can of worms and that has equally political responses. We cannot sidestep the fact that India are the ones who did not shake hands. India are the ones who sacked Mustafizur Rahman. And this is all cyclical. It's now a spiral, toxic hellhole. And you have to kind of understand that when I make that equivalence, I'm not saying that Mohsen Naqvi is equal to Jay Shah. I'm saying that states are involved, governments are involved, and they are using cricket as a tool to political point score. That's all that's happening in Pakistan, in India, and in Bangladesh. And this is not healthy for the sport. We could at least make an effort to ensure that the geopolitical filth of the region doesn't spill over into the sport that we all adore. And by the way, you mentioned that Bangladeshi cricketers aren't going there, but the shooters are going. Similarly, MMA fighters from India used to come to Pakistan as well. So there are other examples over here. The point is not to digress. The point is to address that there has been discrimination that has happened with the Fizz. And now we are looking at a T20 World Cup where one of the...
Just refresh my memory. Who was it who said that the Kashmir problem should be decided on the Sharjah pitch? Was that India? Was it an Indian player who said that?
What does that have to do with anything?
Don't go with this moral grandstanding, please. Your
this is not moral grandstanding. This is about who
players have been always linking for politics
sport,
with cricket.
You have to see where the weaponization starts.
Yeah, the weaponization has happened from Pakistan side far more. You're not talking about a few examples. What about the kind of
now you're
gestures,
indulging in what about
the plain
you're
gestures?
not talking about
Let me also ask you, who made
here.
the plain gestures on the field? Behram, who made the plain gestures on the cricketing pitch? Please tell me.
Yeah, and in response to what? I'm not defending the responses. I hate the responses. I want to keep this away from sport.
They're responses. Mr. Amarnath, would you like to comment? These are all responses. Behram says these are all responses.
Well, everybody has their own opinion and they're free to express their own opinion. Let's also respect their opinion, but I must tell them, don't dig the pit so deep that you may not be able to come out of it ever. The game which you are playing along with Bangladesh is going to hurt you in future. Mark my word, you will grovel and grovel and grovel to get back with the ICC, because that is the only place where you feel justice will come. But now you feel, since the Indian is chairing the post, you will not get the justice. Similarly, Bangladesh has committed so-called a huge mistake by relying on Pakistan. You have led them the garden path, but in reality, you put their head on the altar for sacrifice. You have made a big fool of Bangladeshis. The government and the board of Bangladesh did not understand your game plan. You wanted to feel secure because Bangladesh probably was performing better than you. So you didn't want another competitor who could be standing in front of you. And at the same time, I must tell you that cricket is definitely a gentleman's game. But if you have brought it down to a level from where you start projecting yourself on a political front, obviously there is going to be a response from this country also. I love cricket, I played cricket, and to be honest, I like to see this kind of a contest where two nations' heartbeat stops, but not at the cost of what you are doing. Time has come for you to do introspection, and introspection in the right manner. Don't lead other countries the path which will not only spoil their future, but will lead them to a dark alley.
All right.
And that is my advice.
All right. Faraz, you want to respond to that?
The kind of grandstanding that's coming out from the Indian panelists is amazing. People in Bangladesh are not smart enough that they'll be dictated by Pakistanis. Pakistanis are not smart enough to decide what to do, but only the Indian panelists know the best and they'll be given enough time to lecture us on what to do and what not to do. And if we go down this hole, what are the repercussions going to be? That's amazing. But I only want to correct one fact, because again, this is an ongoing discussion, and this will go on continuously because everybody will come up with their own argument. I just wanted to correct one thing. You mentioned that in the past many years, Pakistan's minorities have actually declined. The data that's generally used by the Indian media is the census of 1941. Ignoring that mass migration happened and East Pakistan and West Pakistan became two separate nations.
Okay, so you tell me from which census data you want to take the figures and how many minorities are left in Pakistan. You tell me.
The latest one. We did the latest one, 2023.
So have they gone up? Have minorities gone up in Pakistan?
Yes, absolutely. The absolute numbers have grown up.
Please.
Hindus are still the major minority in Pakistan.
Sir, yes. It is day after day that brutalities against Hindus, whether it's Sindh, whether it's other parts of Pakistan, are very often reported. Hindus and Sikhs, we have seen the number of stories. Let's not even go down that. Let's stick to cricket, because if we start opening up the facts, just as I did with the Bangladeshi panelists, my friend, your entire country will not look very good. Your own track record globally of dealing with minorities is very well known.
Absolutely.
And the kind of situation that exists. Let it be for us, because I don't want to waste time. We are discussing at this point of time what the cricket is. And let me also tell you what Mr. Amarnath was trying to explain to you is gaslighting. What you're doing to Bangladesh is gaslighting it and misleading it, taking it down the garden path. It does not reflect well, on anyone apart from that. And let me also, in fact, bring in another panelist. Let me bring in Rakesh Rao. Rakesh Rao, can Pakistan, for all its great grandstanding that it's doing, afford the kind of losses that will happen? They don't have money to pay match fees. They've cut that down by about 90%. So what are we talking about?
You know something, they are only trying to divert the attention of their hardcore fans. This is for optics only. They also know that they can't do it. See, Kashmir or whatever subject that you take up, they want to bring it to the field of play so that their performances are not spoken about. They are the ones who will get back and say, look, the security concerns that we have, like vis-a-vis India, is equal to what you have about Pakistan. But you just see one thing. Globally, what has happened, there are teams that have refused to travel to Pakistan, where even when they send the team, you just see the quality of teams that have been sent there. Look at New Zealand. Look at, like South Africa. All these teams that they came, that travel to Pakistan, they've sent their C and D teams as described by the Pakistani media themselves. So let us not even go there that, they keep saying that, that we need to get even with India. You can't get even with India, boss. You are at a very different level. Lightweights don't fight with heavyweights, be it any combat sport. You take it judo, you take, you take boxing, you take wrestling. You are put in two different categories. It is just because it's a team sport. There are only half a dozen or maybe 1 countries that play. Half a dozen are reasonably strong. Others are not. Pakistan is struggling to be in the top 5 of the country of the world. So even when your fans know that we cannot compete with the best, just compare yourself. Just compare the teams of the 80s with the teams that which you have in 2026.
Absolutely.
Just struggling. Okay, you beat Australia yesterday after 7 years. So law of averages is at work, which is fine. But the point is, can you take on the ICC? Can you defy the ICC sanctions? You have educated people there. They know the ramifications. They know the kind of impact that all these actions which you're suggesting, you may not take it. But if this is what you're indicating, that you are free to, boycott, please go ahead and boycott. There's no problem, because you have no support there. We saw what happened when you voted in favor of, Bangladesh being in the, being in the ICC World Cup. There was no other support. So what? And the line that you are taking, it's really baffling. You are shooting yourself in the foot, and you know it.
Absolutely.
So why are you doing this? That baffles me. But then, repeatedly, if I just look back and see the kind of country, because you haven't kept your word, you have been threatening to do a lot of stuff in the last 10 years. You can also, just have a look at it. Because I have a lot of people in Pakistan, a lot of friends who have been traveling here, a lot of journalists, a lot of experts. But even they, in private, they all say, even we don't understand why PCB is doing this, why the government is, doing it. But I think one thing is sure, I feel sorry for the Pakistani fan who genuinely loves the sport. I feel sorry for those who are genuinely in favor of Pakistan participating and doing something, proving its worth, because you don't have a team to show, and you know it very well.
Yeah.
The results reflect the truth. You can have an opinion, I can have opinions, but it is just one opinion against the other. Facts speak louder. And you know the facts. So we can go on expressing our opinions. We are not going too far. But the point is, we know where Pakistan stands.
I want Atikur Rahman to take that question.
The world knows where Pakistan stands. You can do things.
I respect the opinion of my fellow from the other side, but on the other hand, we will take the decision and we will announce the decision very loudly. You will you will receive our decision, and we don't need any dictation from anyone.
No, you don't take dictation from Indian side, sir. Inzamamul Haq, Mohammad Hafiz, former captains, PCB officials are all against the boycott. Listen to your own people. Forget India or Bangladesh. Listen to the voices coming in from Pakistan.
On the other hand, let me share my, very slight disappointment on your behavior. The way you stopped my Bangladeshi fellows and he was not able to complete his argument. Rather to let him complete the argument, he was making some argument and you just interrupted. And my third observation...
Sir, you worry about your own arguments. What are your arguments? You defend against what Mr. Rao has said. You know, you don't have lightweights fighting against heavyweights in other sports. There's no comparison between Pakistan and Indian board and the cricket of the two countries. Answer this question.
You people are just dragging Pakistan and the Bangladesh cooperative relation and the newly developed cordial ties into the...
Sir, this is not about you people or me people. It's about where you are. Your own country is not able to pay cricketers. And here you're trying to grandstand on this event.
States always follow sovereign decisions. We have our own sovereign decisions the way Bangladeshis are having their own sovereign decisions. So do not try to, negatively portray the newly improving relation between the two countries. And,
my dear friend, whatever you want to do with Bangladesh, you do. But the point is, don't try and politicize the sport because of that. That is a simple question that is being asked. And you're trying to grandstand. You're trying to fool Bangladesh is what we are saying, because ultimately you're going to do nothing. You don't have the ability to boycott this. You cannot boycott this World Cup.
That could be your perception.
Your own people don't want you to boycott the World Cup.
But you cannot rationalize your opinion based on the ground reality.
We will rationalize our opinion based on what our reality is. You can argue your point, but the point is, you have been thoroughly exposed today. Your country, which has repeatedly made these threats. Mr. Rao, would you like to remind him of the kind of threats that Pakistan has made in the past and why those threats have been proved empty?
Absolutely, all along. They haven't even executed one single threat that they've been issuing it left, right, and center. If India does this, we are going to reciprocate. At the end of it, no, for the sake of cricket, we would like to come back. It is not just for that, it is for your people, because what you are trying to do is you don't have the money. PSL, nobody watches, and that is being described best by your own media. You don't have to go too far. Don't compare PSL and ISL. Don't compare Indian performances with yours. It is all there. These are facts. Let's not even get into, two opinions, two contrary opinions here. Facts, we both will agree that Pakistan has a long way to go. First, look within, rebuild your structure. We respected the team's performances right through the 70s. I'm from that era where I saw Pakistani, like fast bowlers. I've covered Pakistanis for years. Their cricket, we all respect. As an Indian cricket fan, I'm trying to say that. Today, you don't enjoy the same respect. Face it. These are facts. These are not my opinions. Just go by it. Look inwards and then take a call. Don't get emotional about certain things which your government is doing or your board is doing. Look within where you are. There are no takers for your brand of cricket. We are talking about cricket first. If you say keep cricket and politics separately, we are happy to do that. But can you do that in your nation? Can Pakistan do it? No, because your country is run differently.
Depart yourself from the traditional.
So don't argue on that, please.
Days. No, the situation is
we can have our opinions. That's a different matter.
Let me bring in Faraz. Faraz, respond to that on the point of view of cricket. Ultimately, if you need to have cricket in Pakistan at the level that it was in the 80s, in the 90s, so on and so forth, and Pakistan has produced some great players, the point that is being made by Mr. Rao is you need to fix your board, you need to fix your finances, get the basics right first, before getting into all of this.
I don't want to get lectured, or my PCB wants to get lectured from an Indian panelist. And I'm sure we have professionals working there, and they have an absolute brilliant structure where they've been hosting PSL every year very successfully. International players, participating in PSL, traveling around every major city in the country. So I don't think we need lectures. And if he doesn't understand the basic structure and how PCB is working, he must visit Pakistan to understand the structure. I mean,
Faraz, is it a fact that PCB lost 869 crores from hosting the Champions Trophy? Is it a fact that the domestic match fees have been slashed by up to 90% and reserve players' payments cut by 87.5%? How are you risking further financial isolation? We are asking you, you have to have the money to run this game. If your administrators have failed, you have to admit that.
If I could remind you, when you say that politics should not be involved and how financials are very important, I remember attending many debates in the last couple of years on how certain political activity or certain terror activity must make way for India not attending any major event where Pakistanis are playing. Denying any financial,
what are you saying?
Repercussions on that.
Your terrorists attack your country and you're linking it to India.
What I'm saying is that when you have to have a fundamental decisions, you don't see financial into it. Okay, that's a
my dear friend. Unfortunately, to run a corporatized game such as cricket, you need to have the funds. Otherwise, your cricket will be in doldrums. And Atul Vasan, I think that point of Mr. Rao that he has made about the requirement of the board being managed properly, that point is completely lost. In their national pride, they were refusing to look within, as he has said, to look at how they need to fix their cricket first.
Why are we bothered about how people are running their houses? I think India is doing whatever they can, and they are able to do, and whatever they are able to muscle through because of their, this is like economics. What somebody who brings more to the table always gets more leverage. Even in a house, if a son is earning more money, then even the mother also treats that son differently. So I think just leave it alone. If Pakistan wants to go down this road, हम अपने घर में खुश हैं, आप अपने घर में खुश रहो. आप उनकी क्यों जज कर रहे हो? उनके अपने issues हैं. So now if our government and our public sentiment is against Bangladesh, and Bangladesh is retaliating and bringing their timeline within a month and a half to the same as India-Pakistan. So I feel sorry for them, because who's suffering? Their players. They're not playing World Cup. As it is, they are not. Both the teams are Mickey Mouses now. They don't win any matches, and then you can't. If they were winning, I can understand. I can actually tolerate more from them. But they're not even winning, so they don't even pull the crowds. अपने घर में PSL में जो मर्जी करते रहो, हम अपने घर में खुश हैं. But in the world, if you cannot draw and you don't have that traction, then you have to eat humble pie. Then you can't go down this road. But वो बात ही नहीं है, क्योंकि अब तो governments हैं. So they feel that with this baton, they can make a point to the world that okay, we are against that. So please do that. अगर पाकिस्तान और बांग्लादेश नहीं भी खेलेंगे, तो फिर वर्ल्ड कप सेम रहेगा. I can guarantee you. So let sleeping dogs lie.
Okay, let sleeping dogs lie. Behram, would you like to take that question? Because ultimately, it's also for Pakistan. Look at where the cricket is and whether you can actually afford it. Of course, you address the point of financials, but it's also for the larger issue of how you're managing cricket in the country.
I'm not going to pretend over here that cricket has run well in Pakistan. I have my own issues with the PCB and their administration, but that's not the point over here. That's not what we're here to discuss. We are here to discuss that a full member nation is not going to be playing the T20 World Cup because of reasons that they did not initiate. And I will continue to go back to the same point because no one is addressing it. We keep digressing from that issue. And I don't think the strength of a team should have any bearing of, how it is treated within a close-knit fraternity, which should be a close-knit fraternity of roughly 10, 12 teams. It's not like cricket is a global sport. It's a Commonwealth sport for the most part. Barring Afghanistan and Ireland, every team is a Commonwealth country. So I feel like we are headed in a dangerous direction.
Exactly that question. He says, don't be hypocritical. Because one player has been refused a security clearance or a clearance to play in a particular series. Don't make it a security issue for the entire national team. That is where the hypocrisy is. Rakesh Rao has answered the question and hit the nail on the head. Respond to that.
But yeah, I did. If I gave you an analogy, if I hire someone and then a politician creates a ruckus that you've hired a person from enemy X and they're not allowed to come here, I fire that person. That person's family says that we don't want to visit you on the tour that was scheduled, I would understand that they wouldn't want to visit, right?
No, but
Because
which family
they were
are we
made to
talking
feel
about?
unwelcome.
What about players
The
like
Bangladesh
Mithun and
cricket
others
team.
who have come out and berated their own cricket board? Other cricketers, not his family.
I am not
They are
defending
saying that
any
their board
cricket
is wrong.
I'm saying all of them are evil.
They are coming out to say, calling out their own Bangladesh cricket board. Rakesh Rao, why don't you respond to this? Is this a fair analogy at all? The family members will object if you insult one person. Is that what has happened here?
I think this, like learned panelist is getting things mixed up here. He has his views. I respect that view. But the point is, don't miss the point. You don't take it to a different path. All I've said is that, look, when you talk about a team that, like if we have said, please, Bangladesh, you can come and play here. You are reacting to a thing which was PSL. Now, ICC had nothing to do with it. But you said that this is an ICC tournament. This is not an India tournament. India happens to be a co-host. So you deal with the ICC directly. You didn't do that. Then you said that, okay, we don't want to come. We want to be treated like you did in the case of Pakistan. Give us a separate, like we wouldn't like to come to India. Give us Sri Lanka. They said it is too much of a logistical issue, so close to the opening of the tournament. You didn't understand that. You took your time. Then you didn't even respond. So when you didn't respond, they kept you out. Now, this is also not right. You are at least supposed to say yes or no. Okay. Thereafter, what you did was, in keeping with your dignity, you said, okay, we accept it. From this point onwards, it is Pakistan that has taken over. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, if you feel that your dignity has been, tarnished, or it has been, stamped upon, or, it has been crushed, you have every reason to respond to it. You can react to it. You do not even respond in a
all
very
right. And so will it
that
be?
is up to you. Nobody.
So will it be Uganda replacing Pakistan in the T20 World Cup? We don't know. They have, of course, offered to replace Pakistan. Will that happen? I don't know. It's anybody's guess. A lot of social media trolling that's happening as well. But certainly, of course, before we wrap up this debate, I'd like to bring the statistics, since one of the guests had disputed. At the time of partition in 47, 23% of Pakistan's population comprised of non-Muslims. Today, the proportion of non-Muslims has declined to approximately 3%. This is a Hudson Institute report that has been published in 2013. The article is written by Farhanaz Ispahani, former member of Pakistan's parliament. Let's leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Atul Basin, Rajinder Ramanathan, Rakesh Rao, Behram Qazi, Faraz Saeed, as well as Atikur Rahman, Mir Mustafizur Rahman. Thanks so much for joining us on this edition of the National Debate.